different topics that hopefully will help your relationships. So next month, as we saw on the chat, we're going to be having a special speaker, Dr. Winsome. And so you won't be hearing much from me. And then we're going to be playing a game. And so you might not hear anything from me except an introduction. So bring your friends, bring your family, bring your relatives, bring everybody. It's the first Sunday. We're going to dress up in Christmas colors. I think it's like red and green and maybe gold or silver, whatever you like. But just make it festive. And for sure, if you're married, bring your spouse. Ladies, wherever that man is, drag him, bring him. Because there are going to be some games played and we're going to need both couples connected. So tell him we're asking him to come for a special gala. All right. So again, I just want to welcome everyone who is here. Let me see. I'm going to my chat. Okay. So good. I want to get rid of this here. So if you can get rid of chat. All right, so let's get going. So let me give you some statistics, and then we're going to get into our game. More than half of all American adults are single. I didn't realize that. But as I looked around in my church today, I saw that. More than half of Americans are single. I'm thinking, where are the couples? So life's greatest happiness is found in good relationships. And life's deepest hurt is found in bad relationships. So it's very important that we have good relationships. Lack of love from our parents often motivates children to go searching for love in all the wrong places. And so parents, it's your responsibility to give love to your children. It's not enough to just give them a lot of money, a lot of toys, and then you're gone half of the time trying to build a big house and another boat or another car and leave them stranded without relationships. So a lot of children are suffering because the parents, I talked to a girl one time, mom had a nice job, paid for the house, paid for the car. The girl had at 16, she had her own apartment, her own car, her own job, and she was doing great. And then one day she says, Beverly, mom was never around. And so let's make sure we build a relationship. Whether you want them or not, all of our relationships are impacted by relationships we had with our parents. And if you don't have a good relationship with your parents, fix it up, patch it up, because it's going to affect your other relationships with other people on the job or maybe with your spouse. And like I told you, one of the things I do every day is listen to Christian radio at work. Thank God I can do that. And I listen to a program called New Life Live. And so I'm listening to psychologists and Christian social workers and Christian therapists and Christian psychiatrists. And the people are calling in for an hour and they're complaining. And this is a Christian radio. So a lot of them are Christian people. And they're complaining about their spouse and the children and the in-laws and the outlaws and everybody. We talked about in-laws a couple of weeks ago. So there's a lot of relationships that are not going good. And what they say is, think about what happened. And I used to laugh about this. When you were 5 years old, sit on the couch, tell me about your mom. And I thought it was a big joke, but it's not. A lot of times, if you don't patch up that relationship, I'm told that for men, most of the men in jail, they had a study where they asked the men to write a letter to their parents. And when it was Mother's Day time, everybody had something to write for their mama. When it was Father's Day time, nobody had anything to say about their daddy because they had poor relationships at home with their dad. And that's why they end up in jail. Seriously? Yeah. So let's have a scripture here somewhere along the way. I'm going to throw one in because we need one. Proverbs 18:21 is going to give us some wisdom. Go ahead, Jerome.
Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof.
So the things that we say is very important to our children, to our spouse. So the 5 love languages are 5 things that we're going to be speaking to people. And it's coming up. So here is one. The first one, and if you're taking notes, I hope you are. Thank God for my throat is getting so much better. Words of affirmation. One of the 5 love languages is words of affirmation. These are simply true statements affirming the worth of another person. These are words of power. Remember just before my dad went home to be with the Lord, I went to visit him in Jamaica, and he was very sick. He was in a hospital, and I was talking to him one day at home because I spent some time there. And when I was ready to leave, I said, Dad, I want you to bless me before I leave. I want you to speak over my life. And a lot of times I'm told that men said that their father never spoke a word over their life of affirmation. They never had a blessing from their dad. And so, men, I don't see a lot of men on here, but I hope they're in the background listening. You need to affirm your sons. Women cannot really affirm their sons. It's a man. It takes a man to affirm your son. So if there's no man in the house and you have children, you make sure they're around some godly Christian men. But words of affirmation are better, are best. When you tell your child you're no good, you're just like your drunken dad, nothing is going to come out of you, that's exactly what you're going to get. Because the words are have the power of life and death. What you speak, you're going to have. So another one of the love language is gifts. So one is words of affirmation, other one is gifts. And gifts are a tangible object, says, I was thinking about you. And back in my old days when I thought I wasn't really in love with this guy, but I told him I love him. He told me he loved me, you know how it is. And one day he went away someplace and he brought me back a coin from that country or state. And just to express his love for me, a leaf. Little boy go to pick a leaf, come back and say, honey, I brought this back for you, or husband, whoever. Something to say, I was thinking about you. Because some people say, oh, I don't have a lot of money, I can't buy a lot of gifts. So gifts is another one. Another one is acts of service. When you do things for some people, that's showing that you love them. Acts of service could be anything around the house or out of the house. If acts of service is your love language, then I hope that the person whom you develop a strong romantic relationship with will speak that language also. So if he or she does not speak that language to you, you may have to teach them. I'm going to get personal again. My dad never learned how to do those things. Speak love languages, speak words of affirmation. He did stuff, and then his friends laugh at him and say, oh, only women should comb the children's hair, and only women should help in the kitchen, and only women should do all that. And he listened to his male friends, and so he stopped helping around the house, stopped doing acts of service. And that really put a damper on the marriage, you know? So, and that, I don't know if that was my mom's love language. I don't know what it was, but acts of service, do something around the house to help. And I'm going to tell you how to find out what your spouse's love language is and what yours is. But these are some of the ones that are there. The fourth one is quality time. Some people, you don't have to do anything but just sit with them and spend time with them. Quality time, the quality of your conversation, what you say, if you just stop and listen to them. I remember years ago, there was a man, his name is David Lemon, and he started the facility. We have been working for 30 years. And he came by my office, and my CEO introduced him to me. And the man, this is true, the man stopped, he asked me a question, and he stopped and he looked at me and he listened to what I was saying. I told the CEO afterward, I says, I had a feeling at that time, it did something to me. He stopped and he paid attention to what I was saying. He took the time, you know, you passing somebody, how you doing? Oh, hi, how you doing? Okay, and you go on about your business. He took the time to stop and listen. Some people, they just want to spend a little time with them. Another of the love language is physical touch. And that's what stirs a lot of people on, just a touch. So everybody is not fired up by the same love language. Everyone has their own. And so these are 5. I'm going to go through them again, but let me talk a little about them. So for married people, let me see. Yeah. So for married people, relationships are never static. All of us experience changes in our relationships, but few stop to analyze why a relationship is getting better or worse. Western society is largely addicted to romantic love. And we think you must fall in love and everything should be googly eyes and heart pitter patter. And we think that's all that love is. We have bought into the concept that love is something that happens to you. You just fall in love. Or it's magical, it's obsessive, it's exhilarating. You know, you have that great feeling. If you have it, you have it. And if you don't, you don't. And there's nothing you can do with that. That's what some people feel. While this description of love is fairly accurate, it only describes the first stage of romance. It certainly does not describe the second and more important stages of romantic love. So let's look at some stages of romantic love. There are things that happen at first. And if you're married, you probably remember that spark. Stage 1 is when you're in love. And that's the obsessive thing. I got to see him. I got to talk to him every day. He call. You stay on the phone for hours. That's one stage. The 5 love languages reveal how to keep emotional love alive once we come down from that emotional high. Because we're going to come down. It's not going to stay like that all the time. Oh, man. When it came down for me, it's like, oh, so I got to live with this for the rest of my life? Okay, I guess I got to start adjusting now. You know, because you see, you don't see the person, and for most of you on the phone are Jamaicans, come see me or come live with me are 2 different things, because you don't see a lot of things when you're dating and when you're, ooh, man, he does that. He opened the door. I mean, he still opens the door for me, but a lot of people don't get that anymore. He still stands at the door with his arms open for a kiss every day. It's been just a year and a half. I hope it continues. But sometimes we don't get that stuff all the time. And that's when you need to find out what the love language is. So stage 1 is that obsessive. Stage 2 is the covenant love. Passion must be fed and nurtured. So there's some work to it. It will not continue to flow simply because we are in relationships. The obsessiveness we have had for each other begins to fade away. And we recognize that there are other important pursuits in life. Because, you sit down and then pretty soon you have children. And then the children are important. Now you have the baby, you got to take care of the baby, you got to be there for the baby all the time. And the husband sometimes feel pushed out at that time. And then they grow older, and then and there's always something in school and in sports, and there's other things come in that takes up the time that you two used to spend together alone. So we need to understand the nature of love and learn how to express love in a language that other people can receive. Covenant love is conscious love. It is intentional love. I commit to you at the altar. I said so and so and so. And sometimes that's what helps us to go back when things are not going googly eyes and romantic. We have to remember a commitment, that covenant we made at the altar. Covenant love is conscious, it's intentional love. It is a commitment to love no matter what. Our love will endure because we choose to nurture love by learning how to express love affectionately. So our five love languages, each of us has a primary language. Out of the 5, each of us have a primary language. Suppose you have all 5 and you want all 5, that's fine. You can get all 5, but there's one that's going to be outstanding, One of the five speaks more deeply to our emotions than the four. We can receive love through all five, but if we don't receive love through our primary language, we'll feel as if we're not loved. And they'll say, but honey, I bring you a gift all the time. What happened? Oh, I work every day and I bring you the money, I pay the bills. What happened? Well, that wasn't her primary language. We're going to find out. So if they speak your primary language sufficiently, then that's basically icing on the cake. So we're gonna get into it. The game itself. So while I'm kind of warming you up for the game, I want you to get paper and pencil because there are 30 questions. So ask your child to bring you a paper and pencil so you don't have to leave this other section here. The problem is that by nature, we tend to speak our own language. That is, we express love to others in a language that makes us feel loved. And sometimes that works. Sometimes our love language is their love language, but sometimes it's not. So that's why we need to know what is ours and what is theirs, because they cannot read us all the time to know what our love language really is. And sometimes we got to find out and then let them know. So which one of these is yours? Couple ways you can know what is your love language. You observe your own behavior. How are you acting? If you regularly hear yourself encouraging other people by giving words of affirmation, which is one of them, if you find yourself always encouraging people, always affirming people, then perhaps that is your primary language. Maybe one way to find out. If you are a back patter, a handshaker, an arm toucher, then perhaps your love language is physical touch. I have a friend who said, they've been together for like 40 years. And she said, Beverly, I just don't like touch, even now. But my husband is so affectionate. He's always coming and touching me. And I still squirm. And they seem like they're in love, but that's not her love language. It's not physical touch. So he needs to learn, and I should have invited her, especially on this call here, to see if she knows her love language. If you are constantly giving gifts to others on special occasions and for no occasion at all, you just like to give gifts, maybe your primary love language is gift giving. Maybe. We're going to find out. If you are the initiator in setting up lunch appointments or inviting people over to your house for the evening, then maybe quality time is your love language. You just like to be around people. So you'll have the dinner party and invite them over. All right. So if you're the kind of person who doesn't wait until someone acts, but observe what needs to be done and pitches in and do something when something needs to be done, maybe acts of service is likely your primary love language. So we're giving you some hints because we don't know what yours is. Maybe you know already. Maybe you already did this game. Research indicated that about 25% of adults typically speak one love language but wish to receive another love language. It's interesting when we play the game, and I said it to Jerome, I didn't tell him specifically that it's for couples. So he was thinking love language for his loved one. And at the end of the game, he found that it was, what he said it was? I forget what he said it was. And then I had him do it again. And I said, this time, think of me in relationship to questions that you're going to be asked. And then it came out something different. So when I ask the question, in case I don't say it again, if you're married, think of it in relationship to your spouse. If you're not married, think of it in relationship to anyone that you relate to, your brother, your cousin, your mom, whoever is the closest person to your children. Think of it in that way. All right. So let's see. Research indicates that 25% of adults typically speak one love language and wish to speak another. On the other hand, for about 75% of us, the language we speak is the language most often we desire. So I might give a lot of gifts because I like to receive gifts. But not everybody's like that. We love others in the same way we like to be loved. So that's typically. Okay, so one way to find your love language is observe your own behavior. Another way is to observe what you request of others. What do you want people to do for you? That may be your love language. Excuse me. Say if you regularly ask friends to help you with projects, then acts of service may be your love language. Because you like to be around people, you like to do a project, you like to get help from people. Another way to find out is listen to your complaint. If you always complain about what he don't do, maybe that's what you want him to do for you. And some men don't pick it up. Ladies, I was talking to a lady the other day, a married lady. Excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold. And I said to her, I says, Mr. Husband person might not have a clue of what you're saying. Most men have tunnel vision. They are one-track minded. They're thinking of one thing, and that's not only sex. But what I'm saying, at the time, they may be focused on one thing. We women can do a lot of things at once. Men are not wired like that. And we fuss at our men because they never thought of it. Why didn't you think about that? You should have known that I like that. They're not wired that way like us. So they're not thinking that way. So we have to tell them. And sometimes we get frustrated because we told them already. Well, we have to tell them again because they still didn't get it. So listen, men, we still men should listen to our complaints. Sometimes we complain and they still didn't get it. Because I hear sometimes they go to the therapist and the psychologist and he said, what have she been talking about recently that you didn't do? Oh, the man said, oh, I don't know. I have no clue. Why you think she said, get out the house and don't come back no more? I don't know. I thought everything was working out okay, you know? And so men usually, even if you say to them, why don't you pick up your socks every day? I'm tired of picking up your socks for you. They don't understand that that means it's irritating to you. They think you're just a nag. Jerome doesn't do that. He doesn't throw his clothes around. So I'm just talking. Because people say when I talk stuff, it's because of what Jerome does. But no, that he doesn't do that. He has his own little bin where he keeps his own little dirty clothes, and I don't even see them until wash day. So that's not his problem. But you know, sometimes the men don't get it done. Women are more intuitive, so we'll pick up stuff. So I don't know why I labor on this so long. But one of the ways you can observe what the wife requests of husband or what the husband requests of the wife, then you'll figure out what your love language is. Another one is listen to complain. Listen to your complaints. The things about which you complain, whether expressed or verbally, or just things you complain about in your head, can be very telling in figuring out your primary love language. Number 4, ask the right questions if you want to find out what your primary love language is. Number 4. So I'm saying, which one is yours? Number 1, observe your behaviors. 2, observe what you request of others. 3, listen to your complaints. My voice is going. Pastor Angela is going to take over pretty soon. Number 4, ask the right questions. Say, if you complete the following sentence, like, an ideal friend or spouse would blah, 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 then that whatever that answer is could be your love language. And another way we can find what our love language is to use a love language profile. So this is where I'm going to stop talking for a while and we're going to play our game. I hope you all have your pencils out, your paper out, or your pen out, or your lipstick, whatever you're going to write with. And Pastor is going to share her screen and we're going to go through this game. So let me see here. This is To take the profile, they recommend when you're relaxed, you gonna answer some questions. After you have made your selection, you go back and count the number of times you choose each letter. So for each question, you're gonna have 2 letters. And you're gonna choose one of those letters. And so at the end, you're gonna go back and we're gonna add up those letters, and then we're gonna try to decide what your love language is. So at this time, Pastor Angela, she worked with me. I learned how to share the screen now, but we were having some technical difficulties, and plus I'm having some voice difficulties. So she's very kind. She's a very sweet person. I love Pastor Angela, and I love to work with her. She's very patient with me. And so she's very understanding. So she's going to share her screen, and you're going to go through the 30 questions. And all you do, you're going to read the screen, look at the question. So question number 1, I'll give you an example, is going to say, I like to receive notes of affirmation. A. And then it says, I like to be hugged. E. So you have 2 choices. You're going to choose one of the 2. And the one that you choose, you just circle that one or write the letter if you're writing on a piece of paper. So write the letter A if you prefer this. I like to receive notes of affirmation. Or if you prefer, I like to be hugged, and you do E. So your number 1 is going to be A or E. Anyone have any questions before we start the game? Unmute and just ask the question for me, please. Because my chat is still messed up here. No questions. All right, Pastor, take it away and wrap up for me. I'll probably come back and do something at the end. I want to help you to get your scores at the end. So go ahead.
All right.
Thank you all for coming. I see Yvette and Anne-Marie and Monica and Tiffany and Andrea and Denzel and all these people on here. Thank you for coming.
Lisa,
and I hope you
Dolores.
all of you there someplace. Dolores is there. And this person who doesn't have a name, I see a phone number 1-64656-51233. And Lisa is there. Thank you all for coming. And I hope you have fun and learn your love language. Pastor Campbell.
All right. Thank you, Sister Beverly. All right. This is really a very nice. When I was helping Sister Beverly prepare this, it was very exciting. And I love it. I enjoyed it. All right. So make sure you have your pen. I want everybody to be a part of. You won't forget it. It's very nice. And as you said, you're going to write the letter. I'm going to ask you questions, and I'm going to give you 2 choices. You choose one, and you choose the letter for that choice. All right. So 2 choices at a time, and you choose the letter for that choice. Okay. And we are gonna start. Hope everybody have the pen and paper. Oh, I have to share the screen. I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and share the screen. Where is it? Okay. All right. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So we're gonna begin. Come on. Don't malfunction on me. Okay. The first one is, please select A or E, and you have to write it down because we have to tally at the end. All right. I don't know how to get off it's recording what I'm saying at the bottom. Just ignore that. So A or E. Okay, A or E. A is, I like to receive notes of affirmation. Let me write that down. Or E, I like to be hugged. even if you like both, which one do you like the most? Write down the one that you like the most. All right, A or E. Okay, is there anybody not understanding? You good? All right, can I move on? All right, the next question, the next set of questions. Now select B or D. You're going to select B or D. So you're going to write down B or D. B is, I like to spend one-on-one time with the person who is special to me. D, as in dog, says, I feel loved when someone gives practical help to me. All right. So remember, you're thinking of your spouse. If you're not married, you're thinking of the person that is closest to you, whether it be your brother, mother, child. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, think about it. Which one you like the best? I'm sure we like both, but which one is the best one you love? Okay. Can I move on? Okay. Now, the number 3 is select C or B. You're going to write down C or B. And C is, I like it when people give me gifts. Woo, I like it when people give me gifts. Or I like leisurely visits with friends and loved ones. Okay, so C or B. All right, I'm going to move just a little quicker because we have 30. So just choose the best one. Next one, select. This is number 4. Select D or E. D or E. I feel loved when people do things to help me. That's D as in dog. E is as in egg. I feel loved when people touch me. Okay. Moving on. You can stop me and if you didn't get it. 5. I like to go places with friends and loved ones. All right, that's B as in boy. E as in egg says, I like to high five or hold hands with people who are special to me. All right. Okay. I had to think about that one. Okay, number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 6. Visibly symbols of love, that's gifts, are very important to me. Or A, I like to high five or hold hands with people who are special to me. So C or A, some of them are repeating, but just concentrate on the 2 that are in front of you. Which do you like best? C, visibly symbols of love, gifts are very important to me. A, I like to high five or hold hands with people who are special to me. Number 7. E as in egg, E as in apple. E, I live to sit, I love, that should be love, sorry. I love to sit close to people whom I enjoy being around. And and A as in apple says, I feel loved when people affirm me. I feel loved when people affirm me. Some of them are very close. Okay, number 8. Number 8. All right, B or C. B says, I like to sit close to people whom I enjoy being around. That's B. I like to sit close to people whom I enjoy being around. And C says, I like for people to tell me I am attractive. I like for people to tell me I am attractive or handsome. Did I miss one? Hold on.
Yeah, it's a little off.
Okay. All right.
If you could go back to 8.
All right. Number 8. It looked like I didn't write down number 8. Did I write down number 8? Look. Yeah, it's a little off.
I like to sit close to people.
I like to sit close. I like to sit close to people. That was one. The next one down.
I like people to tell me that I'm attractive or handsome. That's 8.
Okay. All right. That is 8 on your paper. So that's the next one. All right. So we just did that. Let me see. I like to sit close. So this one is listed as 8 on my sheet, Sister Bev.
Yeah, this one here that you have
is what number?
Is
that's 8 for me.
8. That is 8.
All right. So sorry if I confuse you. That is 8. Look at the question. If you have that 8 already, I like to sit close to people whom I enjoy being around. Or A, I like for people to tell me I am attractive. That's E or A. Okay, so that is 9 then. That is 9.
This is 9.
All right. 9 says, I like to spend time with friends and loved ones. That's 9. I like to spend time with friends and loved ones. All right, that's B. C says, I like to receive little gifts from friends and loved ones. That is 9. I like to receive gifts from friends and loved ones.
I just want to say Pastor Campbell did a great job right now. And she took a plain piece of paper I gave her and made this attractive display. So I just want to say I appreciate that.
No problem. No problem. You're welcome. All right. Okay. So that's 9, and we go into 10. 10. Words of acceptance are important to me. That's 10. Words of acceptance are important to me. That's A. Or D. I know someone loves me when he or she helps me. I know someone loves me when he or she helps me. All right. So that's 10. Moving to 11. 11 says, I like being together and doing things with friends and loved ones. That's B or A. I like it when kind words are spoken to me. Oh God, some of them are so close. Okay, so that's that. All right, number 12. Number 12. What someone does affects me more than what he or she says. And hugs make me feel connected and valued. Okay, that's number 12. Hugs let me feel connected and valued. All right, that's E. Are you seeing the letters? Are you seeing it clearly? Can I have a feedback? Are you seeing it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, check the chat, Sister Bev, in case somebody's writing something. All right. Number 13. Number 13. I value praise and try to avoid criticism. That's A. Or C. Several small gifts mean more to me than one large gift. Okay, that's number 13. This is number 13. All right, moving on to number 14. Somebody said something? Okay, number 14. Number 14, B as in boy, says, I feel close to someone when we are talking or doing something together. And E as in egg says, I feel closer to friends and loved ones when they touch me often. That's number 14. This is number 14, going on to 15. 15, I like for people to compliment my achievements. That's A as in apple. I like for people to compliment my achievements. D as in dog. I know people love me when they do things for me that they don't enjoy doing. All right, that's 15. All right, number 16, E as in egg and B as in boy. E as in egg. That's 16, 1, 6. I like to be touched as friends and loved ones walk by. That's E as in egg. B as in boy. I like it when people listen to me and show genuine interest in what I am saying. Okay, that's 16. Number 17 now. I feel loved when friends and loved ones help me with jobs or projects. And that's D. I feel loved when friends and loved one helps me with jobs or project. C as in cat. I really enjoy receiving gifts from friends and loved ones. Okay, that's 17. All right, number 18. This is number 18. I like for people to compliment my appearance. And that's A. B says, I feel loved when people take time to understand my feelings. And that's B. All right, that was number 18. Number 19. I feel secure when a special person is touching me. That's E. Sorry. I feel secure when a special person is touching me. This is number 19. And that's E. And D as in dog says, acts of service make me feel loved. Acts of service make me feel loved. That's D. All right, number 20. Number 20. D says, I appreciate the many things that special people do for me. And that's D as in dog. C as in cat says, I like receiving gifts that special people make for me. All right. And this is number 20. This is number 20 here. I appreciate the many things that special people do for me. That's D as in dog. And C as in cat, I like receiving gifts that special people make for me. This is 21. 21. I really enjoy the feeling I get when someone gives me undivided attention. And D as in dog says, I really enjoy the feeling I get when someone does some act of service for me. All right, that's 21. Moving on to number 22. This is number 22. I feel loved when a person celebrates my birthday with a gift, and that's C. And A says, I feel loved when a person celebrates my birthday with meaningful words. Okay. All right, so C or A. Okay, number 23. Number 23, this is number 23, C or D. C, I know a person is thinking of me when he or she gives me gifts. And D says, as in dog, I feel loved when a person helps me with my chores. All right, that's 20. Everybody okay? 24. 24. All right, B or C. I appreciate it when someone listens patiently and doesn't interrupt me. That's B. C. I appreciate it when someone remembers special days with a gift. Okay. Ooh, some of them is really close. Hold up. All right. And we are 25 coming down. 25. D as in dog. I like knowing loved ones are concerned enough to help me with my daily tasks. B, I enjoy extended trips with someone who is special to me. Okay, that one was easy for me. All right. So that's 25. 26. 26. That's E or C. I enjoy kissing or being kissed by people whom I am close. That's E. C says, receiving a gift given for no special reason excites me. Okay. All right. Now we are on to 27. Number 27. Number 27 says, A as in apple, I like to be told that I am appreciated. B says, I like for a person to look at me when we are talking. Woo. Mercy. That's 27. All right, 28. C says, gifts from a friend or loved ones are always special to me. E says, I feel good when a friend or loved one touches me. Number 29. D says, I feel loved when a person enthusiastically does some task I have requested. A says, I feel loved when I am told how much I am appreciated. And 30. E, the last one. E says, as in egg, I need to be touched every single day. A says, I need words of affirmation daily. All right, and that's the end. Is there any questions that anybody missed? Any number that you like for me to repeat? Can I have some feedback? Is there any number that you like for me to repeat?
I haven't seen anything on the chat.
Okay. All right.
27, Pastor.
27. All right. Let me go up to 27. That's A or B. All right. That's 27. Let me make sure. Yes, 27. A says, number 27, A says, I like to be told that I am appreciated. And B says, I like for a person to look at me when we are talking. Which one? I think I myself need to. All right. Any other question? Any other question that I need to repeat? Hold on. I think I need to go back to question 8. Hold on. All right, that is number 8. Yeah, that is number 8 that I needed to do. That is number 8. He says, I like to sit close to people when whom I enjoy being around. A says, I like for people to tell me I am attractive.
Or handsome.
Or handsome. That's so close for me.
Yeah, some of them are so close, but you have to make a choice which one is more important to you. Okay, Pastor Andrew did a great job. I want you to unmute your mic and just give it up for Pastor Campbell.
Right, let me stop sharing. All right.
Thank you, Pastor Campbell. She did a fantastic job. And thank you all for participating. Bye. No. All right. So let's get our answers. Let's find out what is our love languages. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh,
All
so
right,
we have to
so
check up the letters, right? How
on
much?
the bottom of your papers, you're gonna put, and I should have had that on screen too. You're gonna put an A and a blank space,
Mm-hmm.
a B and a blank space,
Mm-hmm.
C and a blank space, D and a blank space, E and a blank space. Because in those blank spaces, you're gonna put your numbers.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
So now you're gonna count all your A's, all your B's, all your C's, all your D's, and all your E's. So I'm gonna give you a few minutes to do that.
Oh my goodness, I don't have any E's. Two. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See. 1, 2.
And I did put the two books in the chat. So if anyone wants to get the name of the two books that I mentioned earlier on, they're in the chat.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These. 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Cheers. Go on.
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
Anyone need more time? All right. Now let's uncover the mystery. A, if you have a lot of A's, the most A's, A is words of affirmation. So if A is the top number that you have, the highest, then your love language is probably words of affirmation. Anyone want to share that? Anyone that's their love language? All right, let me go with the others. B, if your top score is B, then B is quality time. You like to spend a lot of time with people. Quality time. You don't have to do much for me, just spend time with me. Just be home all the time. D, I'm sorry, C. If your C is your top number, then your love language is receiving gifts. You love gifts. Uh-oh. Don't give it away yet, doctor. We're not done. D is in doggy. If your top score is D, your love language is acts of service. You like when people do stuff for you. And E, if your top score is E, then your love language is physical touch. Now, when we did the one on the temperament, one of my sister was on, And she didn't know after how many years we spent together that I was actually, no, what?
Yeah, honey.
I was actually melancholy and I was actually an introvert. She said, no way. And every time I take that test, that's what it comes out as. And people who see me on Zoom might not think that I'm a phlegmatic, I'm a melancholy, I might not think I'm an introvert. But anyway, so you can learn about people, but Holy Spirit can help you to change. So anyway, so which love language receives the highest score? This is your primary love language. If point totals for 2 love languages are equal, you are bilingual.
Yes.
That means you speak 2 languages. You have 2 primary love languages. And if you have a secondary love language or one that is close in score to your primary love language, this means that both expressions of love are important to you. The highest possible score for any single love language is 12. And it's important to share this with your spouse or your loved one. Let them know what you desire. Do you desire more time? Do you desire more touch? Do you desire to receive gifts? Let them know. I found out with Jerome and I. All right, let's play a game here. I have to go to the chat. What do you think my love language is? Anyone? You can shout it out, or I have to go to the chat because someone might not want to talk out loud. Anyone can guess my love language or Jerome's love language? Why is I don't like this. I'm definitely gonna buy a new computer because it's covering something and I can't see the chat. Oh man, they gotta speak then. They gotta unmute and speak because now I can't find my chat. I'm closing. All right, so there. All right, so I'll just tell you because some people are not gonna say anything, no matter whether it's chat or mute.
Oh, Sister Olive says acts of kindness.
Olive says act of kindness is whose, mine or his?
Or words of affirmation.
Acts of kindness. Olive, whose is that? Yours or mine or Jerome's?
Yours.
Oh, she think I've got, oh, act of kindness is mine. I surprised my sisters. Okay, so I found out, this is another sister, that's not the sister I told you about earlier on. I found out that when I did it for spouse, my love language is physical touch. And guess what Jerome's love language is? Physical touch. So you can imagine this house. Oh my God. All right. We both, so, you know, and it's good when you know each other's love language and when you actually speak the person's love language and they speak your love language, you know, and some people fight and argue and fuss and divorce because then the other spouse didn't figure out or you didn't figure out their love language and they kept doing all this stuff and they say, oh, come on, I'm doing all this stuff and you don't appreciate it because that's not the language you spoke. And so it's important to know what language you speak and let the person know. So although you may have scored certain ones of the love language more highly than others, try not to disregard those other languages as unimportant. Your friend and loved one may express love in those ways, and it will pay great dividends for you to understand this about them. In the same way, it will benefit your friends and loved ones to know your love language and express their affection for you in ways that are that you interpret as love. Let me share another personal secret of mine. Nobody would really know that physical touch is my love language because I'm not going to tell you my age, but until I got married, I didn't expose that to people because I tried not to let people know that physical touch is mine because the men would be all over me, guys. girls. So as single people, don't tell everybody that you love physical touch, because they'll be all over touching the wrong parts, and you really like it. And then it's hard to say, no, don't go any further. You know what I mean? People, no children are on, right? It's a marriage and relationship thing. So mine was hidden. And, so it can be different when you're single. When you're married, it can actually change. So every time you or they speak one's love language, you score emotional points with the other person. Just as identifying and speaking person's love language strengthens the relationship, not doing it can leave a rift in the relationship. You may have unknowingly been guilty of speaking a foreign language in the past to someone you love. Hopefully, understanding the concept of love language can help you know how to effectively express your feelings so that they are received and interpreted as they are meant. So I'm just wrapping up with my last statement here. Evidence of genuine love includes speaking each other's primary love language constantly. After you have discussed the concepts and discovered each other's love language, ask yourself, how fluently do I speak that person's love language? How much are you and your partner trying to speak the love language? How much are you and your partner trying to speak each other's love language? And think about those things and try to go out of your way and speak your spouse's love language or your mom's love language. Don't irritate her all the time. She don't like certain things, or your children's love language. And hopefully you can get that book and you can play the game with them and find out what's important to some people in life. So any questions before we close out? Anyone needs prayer for anything? All right, I'm going to take somebody. Oh, somebody is on who I haven't seen all night, and she came in, and I'm going to totally embarrass her. Ruth, could you wrap us up in prayer, please? Close out in prayer. I should ask you to do the benediction, but thanks for coming on. Are you going to do that for me? Oh, she's not going to do that for me. That was my sister. I couldn't mess with her. All right.
She's muted.
Ruth has been on. Ruth had been on for a while.
Ruth, I didn't see her.
Yeah, she's been on for a while.
Okay. All right. Good, Ruth. I'm glad you came. I hope you found out your love language or your spouse's love language. Thank you, doctor. I didn't see her. Also, and I just saw Junior Minister Diane somebody, WHY somebody. So thank you for those who I did not say hi to. I like Lisa's new profile. So any questions? All right then. Pastor, thanks for what you did for me. Thanks for all that sharing experience and doing the game for me. And I'm going to ask Dr. Samuel. She was one of our first people to log on. To just close us out in prayer. I know she don't mind.
Let us pray. Father, I thank you. I thank you for dreams that are being fulfilled, Lord. Oh God, I remember when the Wrights were about to start this, that even they may have had doubts. But Lord, I thank you for tonight. Lord, as we grow and learn the languages of love, not just in a marital home, but Lord, in our everyday relationship. Many of us are too busy to even pick up a book, but here, God, they have done the research. And thank you for everyone who've joined, Lord, because for every time or for every session, we know that there's something that we learn. And for those of us who are not married, we're saying if we have to do it again, oh God, we're fully armored and prepared. I pray tonight, oh God, that you'll continue to bless this couple. Continue to bless those who support them, Lord. Sometimes I know that it can be frustrating and disappointing, but Lord, they still plow through as a soldier would. I ask you tonight, oh God, that as we leave and go to our individual beds because we're already home, oh God, that you will let us reflect upon the languages of love. And if we didn't find where we are tonight, Lord, we'll still find it somewhere along the line. Bless us tonight again, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen.